Welcome to the first and probably the most important episode of Antipolar, where we're going to talk about how the mass media has polarized us as a society. We live on one side of the fence or on another, and we basically are pit against each other in conflict. The media thrives on this. The media is currently creating and amplifying this effect because it's what makes the most money. And that is part of the society that we live in. We are all in this feedback loop to create conflict. And we need to change this. We need to find a way out of this growing and more entrenching experience of ideas. We need to come back to the marketplace of ideas and talk more in a civilized and finding solutions to problems instead of basically just taking sides. So here we are on the Wikipedia page for polarization, and I wanted to read just a few sentences to emphasize the problem here. And the segment here, the section, if you want to go to polarization for politics on Wikipedia, this is the section here. The mass media's current fragmented, high-choice environment has induced a movement of the audience from more even-toned political programming to a more antagonistic and one-sided broadcasts and articles. The key here is the antagonistic and one-sided aspect of things, because the media itself thrives on this. And if the media was to find someone with a solution and present it, it would essentially depolarize the whole issue, and they would not have as much of an audience. By polarizing, they actually capture both sides of that audience and are able to essentially bank on them. And then you can say these programs tend to appeal to partisan viewers who watch the polarized programming as a self-confirming source for their ideologies. This is let's put everybody in an echo chamber and watch it escalate. And this is another problem, because we're not actually coming to the table and trying to solve these issues. It just looks like we're at war, and this is not what we need to be doing. Creating a society of essentially war or conflict within each other is not going to end well, I think. But we really need to just kind of look at ourselves and say, are we mature enough to turn around and say, hey, I don't necessarily agree with you, but I really feel there is an answer there somewhere. Let's sit down and figure it out. And let's not make it personal. Let's not get emotional about it. Let's look at that this is a real issue and that we need to solve it. So at the same time, this is an infographics from journalism.org, and I wanted to kind of emphasize that the problem lives in our current social media, especially. So with Facebook, basically it's we've got this covering the conservatives see more Facebook posts in line with their views. So this is the echo chamber that is already embedded in our lives if you're on Facebook. And you're only going to see it. And on the flip side of it, we have this consistent liberals more likely to block others because of politics. So, there's even this other side of the coin where people don't even want to even talk to or engage in discussion because they think, or the media has actually brainwashed them into thinking that the other side is, bullheaded or is just not listening. And that's just not the case. There are people out there that are willing to have a dialogue, and those are the people that we need to actually bring to the spotlight and actually have these dialogues to find solutions. So thanks for listening. That is basically the premise behind Antipolar. We are trying to find a middle ground and a marketplace for ideas where we can actually come to solutions instead of polarizing issues and letting people essentially, debate or fight about it until who knows what. So again, thanks again. Hopefully you'll subscribe to this channel and we'll get more and more dialogue going and you can join in with us. Again, thanks so much.